Okay. So let's talk about the YangGang incidents. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about some of the funniest moments that I've had since I've started yanging people. Dude, yanging people is a weird thing. Like yanging, talking to people, talking about Andrew Yang is the best thing ever. I love talking about Andrew Yang, but it's hard when it's like people you've never met before. Sometimes it is, but then you get into a rhythm and it gets easy. It gets easier. It gets easier. It gets easier. It gets easier. When I first started, I used to come up to people and be like, "Hey, do you mind if I talk to you about Andrew Yang?" Like you're asking, like, "Hey, do you mind if I ask you? Do you mind if I talk to you about this topic you don't know anything about?" Well, who would say yes? So now what I do, so what I've been doing more recently, guys, I take the cards with me, right? The business cards are great. If you don't have any, they're not necessary, but I think it helps a little bit. If you want to get them, go to yangprince.com. So basically what I was doing was I'd run up to people, and now what I do is I go, "Hey, excuse me, can I hand this to you real quick?" And I'll put like a big smile on my face. Even if I hate the person, even if they look like the meanest person ever, even if they remind me of the person who bullied me all my life, I literally will put on the biggest smile ever and go, "Hi, do you mind if I hand you this real quick?" And then I'll take it to look at it and I go, "Yeah, have you heard of Andrew Yang?" And at first, what I think tend to happens is that you expect them to be like really, really rude because you like expect the worst thing to happen, you know, because you're kind of freaked out about it. And they're like, "No, I haven't heard about him." Or they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I have." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, do you have any questions about him, or is there anything I can talk to you about?" And then that's when you start conversations. What I find most interesting, what I find the best, is instead of trying to like read their face and tell them what you think will be effective with them, instead I just be like, I ask them what they care about, and they tell me, and I tell them what Yang would say about it. That helps so much. People underestimate how just how universally appealing his ideas are, and so I've been trying to get that across, and that's been working. So I just try to have these great conversations on the to as many people as possible. And what I've been wanting to do recently, I don't know if you guys want me to do this. Let me know in the comments. Is I want to set up a table in like downtown Seattle, and then make it so it's like so at the table, it can be I can write like a sign that says like Andrew Yang is the best presidential candidate. Prove me wrong. And I have people come up to me, and I think that'd be really effective because I'd be like, "Hey, so what do you care about most?" And they tell me like, "Well, I care about healthcare, Medicare for all." I can tell them what Yang has to say. Yang is a little polarizing on his healthcare, but you can pitch it in a way where you can be like, he talks about outcompeting the public option and making it outcompeting the private option and therefore making the public option much more, the really only option that can be affordable. So I think that'd be amazing. It's a great pitch. I would love to do that. And I think that's the thing with Yang. So the other day I was in LA. I was with some of these SoCal YangGang members. Hold on, I'm taking a drink of my Sprite. Possible brand deal. No, I'm kidding, never. Okay, so so we were in LA. We're with SoCal YangGang. We went to Griffith Park. You know, the observatory, Griffith Park Observatory. Went up there. That was great. So we went up there, and just so many tourists. That was the issue. That was the first problem with picking this spot. Was half of these people did not speak English and were from out of this country and could not vote. So we had to find our way through those. So normally what we do is we would go up and say, "Hey, have you heard of Andrew Yang?" And if they didn't speak English or looked at us like they didn't know what we were saying, we're like, "Okay, most likely you're a tourist. We're gonna leave." And there were tourists from all over. I got French people talking to me. I got Indian people talking to me. I got Portuguese. I got Spanish people. I got European, Russian. I got all the countries, right? All of them. And so, but eventually I find some Americans. You know, somebody wearing like a jersey from some team that only an Americans would know. You know, like someone wearing like I don't know what's a obscure team. Someone wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey or a Nationals jersey for baseball, you know, something like that. So I was looking for something like that, and I'd find these people and be like, "Oh, you're obviously American, right?" So I'd run up to them and go, "Oh, hey, excuse me, here you go," and then I'll talk to as many as possible. And what I found was the thing about California that made it so different from Washington, ironically. It's like California, they're used to crazy people going up to them all the time, that they just assumed I was a fucking crazy person. So they kind of just ignore me. They literally act like it wouldn't exist, like it was like a ghost. And I'd be like, "Excuse me, I am here. You can just say no to me." But eventually, I would hand people cards. People would take them. I'd slip them in. I'd find all these tactics. So at first, I would just be like, "Hey, can I hand you this?" And they would say, no. Or, you know, or I'd go up to them and go, "Have you heard of Andrew Yang?" And they'll be like, "Oh, no, not right now. But eventually, I got down to just being like, hey, can I hand you this real quick?" With a big smile on my face. That's the thing. Have a big smile on your face. And one guy had come up to me. This was the only time I've genuinely gotten upset during a ganging. The one time I genuinely got pissed. Okay? This is what this guy does. So I go up to him and I hand him a card and go, "Hey, can I hand you this card?" And he goes, yeah, sure. And he looks at it and goes, "Ah." And he like tries to hand it back to me. I'm going to go, "Oh, no, it's okay. It's all yours." And he goes, "No." He's like, "No, I don't want it. Take it." I'm like, "Whoa." And I'm like, no, sir, it's fine. I don't need it. He goes, "No, I don't want it. Take it back." So I take it from him, right? I'm like, first of all, in my head, I'm thinking like, wow, okay, you're an obvious dick. You know, I mean, it could be, sorry, that was too mean. Okay, I was thinking in my head, like, okay, I don't know, maybe he hates Democrats, maybe he hates Yang. And I was like, "Well, is there any questions I can answer about you? Do you have any policy questions?" And he goes, "I hate everything that this man stands for." I hate everything that this man stands for. That's what he said about Yang. I've never been pissed off before during YangGang. Boy, I felt my blood rise, man. I felt my blood rise, and I snapped at him, and I go, no. And I was like, hey, I can answer any of your questions, like in a higher tone. And he goes, like, oh, I don't believe in a fucking socialist. You gotta work for what you get. You know how I got, yeah. You know how I be. I lost it, man. Are you kidding me? You do not pull the socialism card on Yang without expecting a good response. And I'm literally okay, socialism, and I just said that over you. I was like, socialism, and I'm like thinking in my head, what am I gonna say? I'm gonna be aggressive, and the entire time in the back of my head, I'm like, I need to calm down, because I'm not the one that gets angry. I should not be getting angry. But seriously, man, that guy came at me with so much confidence in his hate for Andrew Yang. And I think that what makes it so frustrating for somebody like me and somebody like you guys when you Yang somebody and you get a negative response is that you know that so much of it is done through through confusion. Just a lack of understanding of the real, true, in-depth part of his policies. If people don't fully understand Yang policies, they tend to hate it, right? Because it doesn't make sense at first. $1,000 a month. Everything he was saying, the idea of socialism, the idea of not getting something from the government that you didn't pay for, right? Or getting something that you don't, for nothing. My response always to that is like, hey, if I had a civil discussion with him, I could be like, hey, you literally give up millions of dollars, and when these companies sell your information from the things you do on your phone, you are getting that money back. You're giving up everything and getting nothing right now. The idea is to get something. That's the pitch I would give. And it normally works, and normally it resonates with people. He didn't give me that shot, and I got so frustrated that I think my frustration for everything that's been going on, any negativity around Yang, all that kind of bundled up to around that comment where it's like, I hate everything this man stands for. Because if he just understood what this man stands for, if he just understood what Yang's policies were meant to do, he would get it, right? He would officially get Yang. So that just frustrated me. I wish he gave him a shot. I wish he was as vindictive, like Yang says, too many of us are vindictive now. But yeah, I don't know. Lots been going on. Let me know, guys. Do you guys want me to incorporate more of myself in these videos? I try to talk. I end up just talking about Yang the entire time, but I would love to talk more about myself, who I am, if you guys would find that interesting. But yeah, I just want to talk about that a little bit.